go. In the battle for Florida's hemp industry, the high stakes revealed not just economic losses, but the fight for the survival of small farmers against the backdrop of a budding medical marijuana monopoly. All right, legislation sponsored by Senator Colleen Burton and Representative Tommy Gregory in Florida threatens the industrial hemp market, which has flourished into a $10 billion industry. The bills would potentially force thousands of businesses to close or relocate, resulting in significant job losses. Critics argue that the legislation serves the interests of large medicinal marijuana corporations aiming to monopolize the cannabis market. Let's go. What say you, Joel?
Well, I think that's pretty much on point. Some of the numbers I got reliable source a little higher than what the legislature is publishing. They're saying it's about a $9 billion a year industry in the state of Florida. Currently, that industry contributes about $1 billion in taxes to the tax base of the state. Approximately $100,000. I think that matches what we're saying. About 1.3 billion in salaries alone, and pretty much, excuse the pun, that bill passed today. The industry is basically up in smoke in the state of Florida. There several of them have already moving to Georgia, which is just a ridiculous loss of jobs and income for the.
What's the driving force behind legislation like this that would drive jobs out of Florida? I just don't understand.
Well, I don't know exactly because nobody ever knows the reason any of these bills passed. The public reason is never what truth is. My suspicion is this is being driven by one or several of the medical marijuana producers in the state. Currently, they're clearly into recreational in the next year or two. I think they just want to get rid of the company hemp. But the sad part of it is the hemp industry way much more than this product. The federal government is putting out a lot of grants, doing a lot of research. The amount of products that are coming from the hemp plant that are not related to THC is unbelievable. It's now being used in concrete and cement blocks, being used in almost anything you can think of. The U.S. military has a lot of research out on it, and instead of having this industry alive and well in the state of Florida, it's going to be basically dead. If the government finds out, I've heard that he's not going to make it. I've heard that he is only saying that and is not publicly putting it because one of his donors is in the medical marijuana industry,
Okay.
but that he will sign it when he gets to him. And actually, I think maybe I'm sorry, I can't remember. But, they're basically playing games with, oh, I'm going to sign it, I'm not going to sign it. But this is all just to get rid of competition for the medical / upcoming recreational.
Right. I tried to have one of my friends who owns a company that is in the hemp industry, JT
Mhm.
Clark, provided a little research or insight into his analysis of this particular legislation. Unfortunately, he did not get back to me in time for this particular broadcast, and hopefully, I will have that opportunity. We can revisit this with
Right.
his input. However, it I remember when he was trying to bring his company here to Orange County and coming up against some resistance at the Orange County commissioner level. Uh, I believe everything worked out for him because he started his business, of course. However, for small companies and small farmers, this is an important industry that has created jobs and created, revenue, and it's just really hard to understand that small businesses are being put aside for larger interests.
I think that's pretty much this legislation for the last couple of years. Under the current government, they don't really see in protecting mom and pop businesses. A lot of these going through this year and last year are being driven by lobbyists for the U.S. Chamber or Florida Chamber. Neither one of them are friends of small business. Um, One of the reasons that the mosaic over last year and this year's bill trying to protect them from lawsuits is Florida Chamber pushing that, and they're one of the major members of income into the chamber. So it's just the way it's done. It's sad because this particular product has been kind of a godsend to the timber industry, panhandle, where they got wiped out with hurricane. It was Michael, if I remember right? And this product allowed some of that land to go into production and income producing much quicker. Timber has a long lifespan before it turns into a cash crop for them. And some of the citrus guys I understand clearly there's greening has devastated, wiped out the citrus industry in South Florida. Citrus industry in general is moving to North Florida and South Georgia. But some of the Florida citrus reserves, it's my understanding, have turned to hemp to try to get something into production and generating income for it. And it's very frustrating to see the direction that your head's on.
So you have the lobbyists for the big interests, and with Florida having the second largest hemp market by agricultural standards, is there an association that you're aware of that the hemp farmers or the small hemp businesses, is there an association that represents them that lobbies on their behalf?
I'm not aware. I would think there probably is. I think the average farmer this hemp is about 15 or 15 acres. So these people are really small family farms and businesses. They're not just big national corporations. And I kind of kid friends of mine up in Cassie. It's like they wouldn't pass the grandmother's life lobbyists. No lobbyists for free. Nobody paid lobbyists without a profit motive, i.e., nothing in here without somebody making money or saving money, essentially making money. And that's just it has been.
JD, with your proximity to the legislators, the legislation, and things that happen in Tallahassee, if there was a group of farmers who wanted to advocate for themselves and lobby the legislators in the next session, because this session is pretty much done, um, what's the process? How would they go about it? When, for instance, when do they start that?
I don't think they have the basics successful at it. These lobbyist firms that are in business in Tallahassee, in periods of time to build up a relationship. Um, some of that's based on money, but some of it's based simply on relationship between lobbyists and lobbying for different legislators. Um, it's like anything. You listen to people who are friends of yours. I think it would be to step in and try to do it themselves. We could certainly try to raise and pay a lobbying has the horsepower to compete the ones that are currently trying to push us, but that takes some money. And I think throwing up their hand, they're just going to go out of business. So that's that. There's of the 100,000, they'll dwindle down and down. And the other ones are out of state. Most of it's district. It's an interesting comparison. The state of Florida decided years back not to try to for the film industry, whether it be TV, film, advertising. At one point, fairly decent, up and coming into Florida, moderately. It had to get some to get here, but it put a good job, good wages. And now we don't have that. That's all basically in Georgia also.
That's a good analogy with the film industry.
Yeah.
It seems that Florida is not encouraging innovation and small business entrepreneurship and into markets that Florida really hasn't tapped into its full potential, and it's kind of disappointing because you know Florida's known for job growth and where businesses do well, and to see this pullback from encouraging small businesses, small farms being involved in the hemp industry is disappointing. It's very disappointing. And
I agree.
100,000 jobs. I mean, really, 100,000 jobs is nothing to sneeze at. And
That's
then,
right. That's right.
the potential for retail sales into the billions. I just don't understand to satisfy the interests of big interests, big company interests, big lobby interests. It is disappointing. It's very
Right.
disappointing. And so the
And,
current. Go ahead, JD.
well, they're hanging that on. Oh, we think people are doing this. Hemp has appreciable levels, THC, different variations of it. So it has some psychoactive properties, as my understanding. I'm not a recreational hemp, but at least not since high school. It hasn't been a long time. Um, but I listen to the arguments. This is a greater I gave. Of course, they're all saying that, not all. A lot of them are saying that being on some part of alcoholic beverage, and I try to explain marijuana is not gateway. Alcohol. Every kid, most kids can find alcohol in their parent house, and that's if they're going to be if their particular makeup makes them susceptible to using that next alcohol as a gateway drug.
Sure.
And how many guys that are marijuana in a bar fight, beating up their wife, beating their children, all the social on alcohol pretty much are not
DUIs.
and it's just and I think we talked about part of the reason we had a bad rap way back. I don't remember exactly 30s, 40s was because hemp was competing with synthetic roping. So things like DuPont, coming up with propylene, polyethylene, all these other chemicals got the synthetic ropes wanted to get rid of the industry, and that's how we on marijuana. But founding we're bringing and creating hemp plantations in the United States. They won because they knew all the uses fiber.
My final thought is more of a question to you, JD. First, maybe a couple of questions. First, where is this legislation at right now? And
Passed yesterday afternoon. It passed on 64 to 48.
Okay.
Obviously, party lines totally. They repeated over and over. kept putting out amendments. Of course, nobody ever sees the amendment until the last minute. I'm sure that's coincidental. Obviously, it's not. They don't even close a lot of times in the last second. And I've had a couple of them, reply like, "Why do they expect us to read these things? Every time they don't expect to read these. You're not even supposed to read these. You're supposed to do it here. It's not up for discussion. It's like it's almost like because they rotate the amendments in and out, in and out, in and out. And the members, the ones that are trying to do a honest analysis, just get kind of caught up in the confusion with the amendments going in and out of the session and on this bill or any. And it's almost like a ship in New York City. You can't follow the pebble. Next thing you know, you're having to vote on something you think you're voting on one in 10, and it not really being and it just happened over.
Wow. And you pretty much answered my second question. Um, this is a lesson for our viewers and listeners to again reinforce, be engaged, be aware of what's happening with your local elected officials, and even we talk about how local politics really matter at the state level. This is a good example. We're talking about billions of dollars. We're talking about tens of thousands of jobs being affected here. And for our viewers and listeners, stay engaged, be engaged. Being a part of our network is part of that process. And JD, I really appreciate you just kind of laying the landscape out for us in this particular hemp legislation. And it looks like Governor DeSantis is likely to approve it. We'll see.
It's hard to tell, right?
Yeah. It's wow. I would love to revisit this issue once I get more information from my friend JT. Is there any final comments you have?
No, I don't believe so. It'll be interesting to see the sponsor of the bill side kind of essentially guarantee a number of the representatives are concerned about business. But his reply was one business isn't going to go out of business because of the bill. Obviously, that has a reason. We both know that this is going to drive at least some out of business, probably some numbers, and maybe but that particular sponsor doesn't, at least to me, have a lot of credibility and stuff.
Wow.
And that's just
Well, thank you, JD. I appreciate it. I'm sure our listeners and viewers appreciate it. And if you do, we will love to hear what you have to say. Please comment. Let us know about what you think. You can set aside your feelings. We want to know about the facts. So please comment. We'll respond as quickly as possible. I personally love responding to the comments. Please share this content with those politicals, influencers, candidates, electeds that who would, benefit from this content. Again, thank you, JD. This is
welcome, David.
awesome. This is the J in Washington Network. This is You Can't Make This Shit Up. That's JD. I'm David. We'll see you the next time.